Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to be talking today about one of the most controversial cars Hot Wheels has probably ever released. And it's not because of the casting, but the way it was released. So guys, if you're a Skyline fan, do me a favor, go ahead and give us a like here on this video. I'm going to be talking about quite a few of them by the end of it. And so what we're going to do here is we are going to first just touch very briefly on the debacle around getting a hold of one of these. We're going to look at the car itself, do a little walk around and review. And then lastly, I'm going to talk about some other options or alternatives. So basically, if you're on the fence, you haven't bought this car yet, you're going to have to get it off eBay or another third party, then I'm going to show you some alternatives that you might be able to pick up for that same money. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. If you're not familiar, this is the pink Nissan Skyline GT-R. And this was meant to be a convention car. It actually did end up being a convention car. And so before the convention even happened, you had these available for very, very high price on eBay and probably other places as well. When the convention came around, a lot of people got theirs there like was supposed to happen. And then after that, what normally happens is there's so many available on the RLC website. Now, when they released on the RLC website, everybody knew that they would be hard to get because it's a limited quantity. And, R34 is a very popular car. Well, when that day came, a lot of people couldn't get it because it would not let them check out. And what the problem ended up being is the website had a glitch and you had to have another item in your cart to purchase it, or at least most people did. And so some people found this out accidentally. I think mostly because they were actually buying other things. And once word got out, of course, then everybody, when they found out, went back and did that and bought the car. So it took a long time to sell out, but it was because the website was messed up and nobody could actually buy it. And what you would end up with is people would be trying to check out. They'd go all the way through the checkout process and it would show up that their cart was empty. So very, very frustrating, I know. Now, as far as the car itself, you have, standard R34 fare here. Nothing really new. Card art's really nice on this, I will say. And the pink is just kind of an homage to the older cars. Some of them, a lot of the original cars were kind of produced in what I would call magenta, but this pinkish, reddish type color. So we have a lot of detail on the front here. I will say this white hood, and I'm assuming it's just because it's white and not because of fitment, but it almost looks like it sinks down in behind the headlights. Kind of has an odd look to it. Of course, I will say the camera, it picks up most of the hue of the pink. Of course, it does change depending on how the light's hitting it, and I think it does a pretty good representation of it. You have the white stripe here on the bottom, red stripe above that, I think. And I think they did a good job with the wheel choice here. The only other thing I think I might have done is add a little bit more white graphic either here, or maybe made the spoiler white, because I think it does need something to break it up. You can see when you come to the rear end here, there is some nice detail, but it all kind of bleeds into that paint, or at least it looks that way to me, especially the tail lights. The interior does look good in white, and of course you have some trim around the windows. So overall, again, just a nice casting, as these usually are. Color-wise, it's okay. Definitely doesn't do anything for the rear end, I don't think. But like I said, if they had just done a little bit more white on here, maybe the spoiler or another graphic or something, I think it would have been a little bit better, helped it break it up a little bit. So go ahead and leave that there for you to look at. And so currently these are going for, I think, around $140 shipped. Of course, you'll see some selling for more than that, but I think that's probably a pretty accurate price, what you're going to be paying for this now, and probably for the foreseeable future. You might end up a little bit less. Depending on how you get it, it may end up being a little bit more. So let's go ahead and look at some of the options here. And I'm going to start out with the highest priced one that I'm going to show. And there are some other options out there that I don't have. These are just the things that I kind of had handy that I thought might be good alternatives. So this is the Nissan Skyline R34 from, I believe it was last year. They call this the Nismo Skyline. You can see here it's in the shadow chrome. And I won't do a review of this, although I probably should. This is a really nice car. This was also available from the RLC. Of course, same casting, same detail on a lot of the things here, but everything pops a little bit more because it's against this shadow chrome paint. Of course, nice graphics here, and I think the only weird thing about this one is these wheels were like a chrome green. Not really a big deal because honestly, unless you're looking at them a certain way, they kind of look black, but just really odd. Interior looks nice on this one, so let's just, rather than doing a review on it, let's just look at the two side by side. Obviously, there's a different aesthetic here, but the reason I bring it up is this one is pretty much going for the same price right now. And one major difference is this is a numbered car and this one is not. So, you know, there is a certain allure of going along with the pink cars, but now a lot of people I've seen think that this will go down in value because the pink cars, I guess, have a tendency to go down in value. I have not looked into that myself. That's just an opinion that's out there. So if that's something that interests you, feel free to look it up yourself. But that would be my first option. You know, if I don't have this one, I'm a Skyline fan. I'm on a limited budget. Of course, I'm probably not spending $140 on a Hot Wheels car anyway. But let's just say that's to the point you're at and you're having to choose between these two. Personally, I would definitely go with this Nismo. Now, like I said, different aesthetics. So if this isn't for you, maybe this is. But I have a feeling most of you are going to like both of them. And to me, this one is just a much nicer looking casting. Let's see, second alternative would be, and this is not an R34, so don't kill me. This is an R32 Legends Tour car from last year. These can be had for around 35 to 40 bucks shipped. Really nice looking casting. So, you know, if you're just looking for Skylines and something more premium, a little bit limited in number. These weren't super limited, but, you know, weren't available like in stores really, like not mass produced like some of these other ones are. So pretty cool little piece, easy to get a hold of. And, you know, I mean, for half the price of this, you could buy one of these to keep in the car, one of them to open, one of them to gift, whatever you'd like. Definitely an option there that I would think about. Of course, like I said, it's not an R34, so if you specifically want an R34, I'm sorry, this one isn't going to help you. What may help you is this here. Of course, there are several different versions of this car out there now in the premium line. I bring this one up because not only is it the newest, but currently it's actually setting at a fairly high price itself. I have a feeling these will end up settling in somewhere around the $20 to $25 range, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. There's, like I said, been several of these out there, a couple in red, one in the Team Transport, one in the Mountain Drifters. And also, as we kind of take a look at it here, there was the black Chase in the Mountain Drifter set. Of course, that is probably one of my favorite cars. Different aesthetic here, obviously, with the spoiler, the body kit, and all that. But, I mean, again, look at the difference here. To me, this is just a nicer looking car. To each their own. That may not be the case for you. If it is, then you don't need this advice. But definitely an option to consider. You can get, you know, a couple of these easily, and still have money left over. And that's the thing. You could buy at least one or two of most of these other options that I'm giving you for the price of this. Next premium option would be something like this. And there's been several versions of this, so price is going to vary a little bit. This is the last one, or from the last Fast and Furious premium set we had that had this available in it. I think they've done another one since then. But you can probably still get this for around $15, maybe $20 shipped. So not bad at all. Really good looking casting. Kind of compare the two here. And this is basically the exact same casting, just different colors, tampos, wheels. You know, a lot of people probably aren't crazy about the wheel selection on this. You could always do a wheel swap on it. Although this is metal base, so that's going to be a little tricky, depending on how you like to do your wheel swaps, if you do it all. But it's doable, you know, not really a problem. Like I said, there are also some other versions out there that have different wheels, so that may be something that you want to look into as well. But, you know, between the two, Too Fast, Too Furious car, I personally would rather have this, and you could get quite a few of these for what this costs. In the same vein there, you could also get one of the mini versions of this in a mainline and either keep it like it is if you don't really, you know, care if it has the real riders, or you could do a wheel swap. Now, some of the carded versions of this car that are a little bit older are going for around $15 to $20 shipped, maybe a little bit more. Rare you'll find it less than that. But, you know, and so if you're going for looks alone, not really going for the collection factor, you know, you may just want to buy this because this is a nicer looking casting than those, and it already has the real riders on it. Even if you don't pick up this one specifically, one of the other premiums of that car would work. However, one other thing to consider is that this came from the new Fast and Furious 10 pack, so if you're a Skyline fan, not only did you get the 34, but you also have this exclusive 32. And, 8 other cars that are pretty cool that you're probably going to like. And so, you know, you could take those, wheel swap them, leave them like they are. But long story short, that set costs around, I'm going to say $40 shipped. It depends on how you get it. Mine didn't quite cost that much because I bought multiples, but you get the idea. So, let's see. I think I've got one more handy alternative here. Again, this is an R32, not an R34, but it is a Skyline. It is new. It is a nice casting. These have come down quite a bit. You can easily do a wheel swap on this. Something like we did here. Of course, different color. But, you know, several different ways you could do that. And just a really nice casting. I think this one falls in really about the $5 range now. Shipped, you're probably looking at like $10, but really, really nice casting, especially if you're into Skyline. So hopefully this was helpful, giving you some options, guys. You know, it is what it is. If you really want the pink Skyline, you're just going to have to get it. I don't see the price changing really anytime soon. I don't know that it will really increase all that much. I don't know that it ever will. Of course, I'm not really an expert at that anyway. But I don't think it's going to go a whole lot lower. So you're probably going to be looking at somewhere in the 120 to 140 range for quite some time. The only other piece of advice I would have, and as we outro with this, I will say, if you found this video helpful, or if you would like to see some other unboxing or review videos, please give us a subscribe. Glad to have you on board. Happy to do these videos for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Last piece of advice. If you really, 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 really need a pink Skyline R34, don't get this. Get this. Seriously, 35 bucks, something like that, shipped. Really nice. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. Hope y'all are having a good week going into the weekend. Happy hunting, y'all.